Hello everyone! Let's start our lesson for today with the story of the day. And the title of our story is Let's Share. Mrs. Chua allotted 1,800 pesos to her 3 children's school projects. This amount is to be divided according to the ratio 2:3:4. How much will each child receive? For us to answer this kind of problem, we will use the concept of partitive proportion. Partitive proportion is when a whole is divided into parts proportional to the given ratio. For us to understand this better, let's go back to our story problem. In this problem, we are asked to find how much will each of the 3 children of Mrs. Chua will get if her budget of 1,800 pesos will be divided in the ratio 2:3:4. Now, in answering a word problem which deals with partitive proportion, let us always remember that the numbers in the ratio given corresponds to the number of parts the whole was actually divided into. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, let's take a look at this illustration. So, the 2 here means 2 parts of the whole. 3 here means 3 parts of the whole. And 4 here means 4 parts of the whole. So, that means these parts actually mix up the whole, which is 1,800 pesos. And let us take note that each of the part here are equal to one another. Now, for us to find the value of 2 parts, 3 parts, and 4 parts, we must first know how much is the value of each part in our whole. And how will we do that? These are the steps that we'll follow. First is, we add the terms in the ratio, then we will divide the whole by the sum you got in step 1, and for the last step, we will multiply the quotient to the terms in the ratio. So let's start. Okay, first we will add 2 parts, 3 parts, and 4 parts. So all in all, our whole is divided into 9 parts. Then we divide the whole, which is 1,800, by 9 parts, and that will give us 200. That means each part is equal to 200. But let us take note that we are not asked to find how much is the value of each part. The problem is actually asking for how much will each child receive if the whole is divided in the ratio 2:3:4. Okay, so the first child will get 2 parts, the second one will get 3 parts, and the last child will get 4 parts. Okay, and for us to do that, our final step will be, we will multiply 200, which is the value of each part, by the terms in the ratio, which is 2:3:4. Okay. So we'll have 2 times 200, that will give us 400. So the first child will receive 400 pesos. The next child, which will receive 3 parts, will get 600 pesos. And the last child, which will get 4 parts, will receive 800 pesos. To check if our answer is correct, all we need to do is to add all these numbers. This should be equal to 1,800 pesos. So we'll have 0, 0. This will be 18. Okay. So the total is 1,800. Therefore, our answers here are correct. Now let's practice some more. Partition 80 in the ratio 2:3. Okay. Let's start again our solution by an illustration for us to be able to visualize it clearer. So we're asked to divide 80, which is our whole, in the ratio 2:3. So that means we have 2 parts and 3 parts. So all in all, our whole, which is 80, is divided into 5 parts, because the first step is we will add the numbers in the ratio. That is 2 plus 3, that will be equal to 5. Now let us find the value of each part by dividing 80 by 5. 8 divided by 5, that's 1. Then we'll have 30 divided by 5 is 6. So that means each part here is equal to 16. Okay. But we will not end our solution there because we are asked to find the value of 2 and 3 parts. So we still need to multiply 2 by the value of each. That will be 2 times 16. That will give us 32. Then 3 times 16, that will give us 48. Okay, so the value of 2 parts is 32 and the value of 3 parts is 48. And 32 plus 48 is equal to 80. Now let's try another example. Divide 110 in the ratio 4:3:4. This time, our whole is 110 and it will be divided in the ratio 4:3:4. That means we have 4 parts, 3 parts, and another 4 parts. Okay. Now for the first step, we will again add all the numbers in the ratio for us to find into how many parts 110 was divided into. So that will be 4 plus 3 plus 4, that will give us 11. Now let us find the value of each part by dividing the whole by the total number of parts we have here, which is 11. 110 divided by 11 will give us 10. So the value of each part here is 10. Now let us find how much is 4 parts, 3 parts, and another 4 parts by multiplying the value of each part by each number in our ratio. So that will be 4 times 10, that will be equal to 40. 3 times 10 is equal to 40, and another 4 times 10 is also equal to 40. This is 30. Okay, then if we will add this up, that should be equal to 110. So we have 0, 4 plus 3 plus 4 is 11. Okay, so again, 4 parts is equal to 40, 3 parts is equal to 30, and 4 parts is equal to 40. Okay, let's try another one. 480 pesos was divided in the ratio of 3:5 between 2 girls. How much did each one receive? Okay, so we have here 480 pesos was divided in the ratio 3:5. So that means we have 3 parts and 5 parts. Now let's find out how much is the value of each part here. And for us to do that, we will add first the number of parts the whole was divided into. So that will be 3 plus 5, that's equal to 8. Then let's divide the whole, which is 480, by 8. And that will give us 60. So that means each part here is equal to 60. Now let's find out how much did the first girl will receive if she got 3 parts, and the second girl which got 5 parts. And how will we do that? We'll just simply multiply the number or each number in the ratio by the value we got for each portion or part here. So that will be 3 times 60. That will give us 180 pesos. So that means the first girl, which will get 3 parts, will receive 180 pesos. And the other one, which will get 5 parts, will receive 300 pesos. And when you sum it up, that will be equal to 480, which is our whole. Another one, the ratio of sunflower to santan to rose in the garden is 3:4:5. If there are 360 flowers in the garden, how many santan are there? This time, we are only asked to find the number of santan in the garden. If there are a total, or if there is a total of 360 flowers and it is divided in the ratio 3:4:5. 3 is for the sunflower, 4 is for the santan, and 5 is for the rose. So again, let's use an illustration for us to visualize it clearer. So the total is 360. There are 3 parts of 360 is for sunflower, 4 parts of 360 is for rose or for santan, and 5 parts of 360 is for rose. Okay, so first, let us add all these numbers. Okay, or the numbers in the ratio, that will be 3 plus 4 plus 5. That means 360, or the whole, is divided into 12 equal parts. Then let's find the value of each part by dividing 360 and 12. And that will give us 30. Okay, so the value of each part here is equal to 30. By the way, the illustration is just an option. There's no need for you to always use this illustration in your solution. Okay, if you can already visualize it without even using an illustration, then that's much better. But if you still want to use an illustration, that is also okay. So let's now find the value or the number of santan there are. Again, in the ratio 3:4:5, 4 parts is for santan because our ratio is sunflower to santan to rose. So all we need to do is to multiply 30 by 4. So 30 times 4 or 4 times 30 will give us 120. That means there are 120 santan in the garden. Okay. Now, if you wish to find how many sunflower are there, all you need to do is to multiply 30 by 3 because in our ratio, 3 parts is for sunflower. So let's do that. 3 times 30, that will give us 90. So that means there are 90 sunflower. Then if we will multiply 30 by 5, that will give us 150. Therefore, there are 150 roses in the garden. But the question is again asking only for santan, so we will already settle with 120. Last example, a 6-meter piece of string will be cut in the ratio 3:4:5. What is the length of the largest piece? Okay, so in our illustration, that will look like this one. Now let us find how much is the length of the largest piece. Okay, in the ratio 3:4:5, the biggest number is 5. That means this number corresponds to the largest piece. So we'll find how much is the value of 5 parts. Okay, so first let us add all the numbers in the ratio. That will be 3 parts plus 4 parts plus 5 parts. That will give us 12 parts. Therefore, the whole, which is 6 meter, is actually divided into 12 parts. Now let's divide. That will give us 0.5. Okay. So each part here is equal to 0.5. Again, we are only asked to find for the length of the largest piece. And the largest number in our ratio is 5. So this is what we'll find out. Let us multiply 5 by 0.5. That will give us 2.5. Okay, that means the largest piece is 2.5 meters long. You want to find how long is the shortest piece, you multiply 0.5 by 3. And if you want to find the length of the medium piece, you just multiply it by 4. Okay. And that's it for our lesson for today. Thank you for listening.